After weathering the storm of the past 2 episodes, we get to the far more enjoyable Nightmares and Out of Sight, Out of Mind. While Nightmares doesn't really further the lore or the arc of the season, the Master's appearance in this episode feels almost posthumous. It does a lot of character building for each of the gang. It's an important, mostly enjoyable episode. In Welcome to the Hellmouth, we found out part of what goes with the gig being the Slayer is dreaming about all the various nasties the Hellmouth spews out.
Well, perhaps you're right. Perhaps there is no trouble coming. The signs could be wrong. It's not as though you've been having the nightmares.
In the beginning of this episode, we see Buffy dreaming about fighting the Master and losing. At school later that day, a boy is coated in spiders, and Buffy sees a small child who apologizes for causing the problem.
Sorry about that.
As the gang investigates the phenomena, incidents of embodied nightmares begin popping up all over town. Buffy shows up to a class she's been teaching all semester to find out it's test day. I'm 35 and I still get this dream. It's performance day for Madame Butterfly, and Willow has the starring role but hasn't bothered to learn any of the lines. Interestingly, this is the beginning of the love duet in the opera. Here's the translation. In keeping with his outlook on life, Xander's nightmares are a bit more simple. The gang tracks the source of the phenomena to a boy that has been beaten into a coma, and by helping him to confront his own fear of the attacker who hit him, everything goes back to normal. I really love each dish this episode serves up, even though I don't think it necessarily holds together as a meal. It's the writer's take on A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I can't entirely say why it doesn't hold together for me. I think it's because the story about Billy feels a little flimsy and contrived, or at the very least unnecessary. Lucky number 19, the monster's cartoonish baseball bat hand. Take the scene where Billy's attacker, the coach, comes in and introduces himself.
Oh, Billy's got company. I'm his kitty league coach. I come by here every day just hoping against hope that he's going to wake up soon. He's my lucky 19. So, how is he?
Who talks like this, especially to a room full of strangers? I half expected him to say after Xander grabbed him, and I might have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids. And Buffy's exchange with Billy right after is positively cringeworthy.
It wasn't my fault. There's 8 other players on the team. You know that. Nice going.
I'm sorry for what happened to him, but I don't actually care about this kid or the coach. I care about Buffy, Xander, Willow, and Giles. This contrived excuse for them to live the nightmares could have been much simpler. There's a similar episode later in the series which amounts to a bunch of dream vignettes and is sublime. Thankfully, though, there's a lot to enjoy elsewhere in the episode. The manifestation of their inner fears is a great way of exploring our characters' wants and desires. This is the first episode that introduces Buffy's dad, and we find out that on some level, Buffy fears she may be responsible for her parents' divorce.
Just stopped getting along. Sure, I was a really big help, though. With all the slang and everything.
Season 1 is very much about Buffy accepting her destiny to be the Slayer, but we learn she fears that being the Slayer may have destroyed her family. In a scene I found almost so devastating as to be unwatchable, Buffy's fear is brought to life.
It was you.
Me?
Having you. Raising you, seeing you every day. I mean, do you have any idea what that's like?
What?
I actually hated her dad so much as a result of this scene that a part of me still rankled whenever he appeared in an episode for the rest of the series, even though the scene is for all intents and purposes a dream. Mostly Xander's nightmares are self-evident, save for one detail. I've mentioned that each of Buffy's friends have a symbolic relationship to her, and we haven't gone over them yet, but I find it incredibly interesting that Xander is the first one to turn around and face his fear. As for Giles, his nightmare is he loses the ability to read, and his inadequacy cost Buffy her life. As he stands over a grave and wonders what he could have done differently, we see him continuing to slowly grow into the role of her surrogate father. It's not a perfect episode, but it works, and it's a welcome reprieve from the previous 2. There's 2 more to go in the season. If you were a Sunnydale resident, what would be the nightmare you would find yourself in the middle of? I made a list of all the ones in this episode, and as a high-functioning neurotic, I'm batting nearly 500. Of course, the ones of mine that didn't make this list aren't fit for a channel I censor curse words from.